When dawn breaks, the world does not merely wake from sleep, it stirs a deeper current. The first light is a threshold, a hinge where the unseen becomes malleable, and whoever stands at this gate helps write the day's decree. This is why those who oppose your destiny whisper before sunrise, sowing cords of delay and nets of confusion. But you did not rise to be hunted. You rise at the gate to command the wind, hush the voices of darkness, and open the corridors of favor. There is a prophetic mystery in what you place beneath your tongue at daybreak. The tongue is not only flesh, it is a scepter. With it you bless or blight, create or concede, anchor heaven or yield to chaos. This is why the ritual carries power. A small, pure drop of honey resting under your tongue as sacred words flow is not sentiment, it is legislation. Declare it, bitterness dissolves, sweetness ascends. Loss returns as restoration, delay becomes momentum. Do not imagine these as distant promises, the answer coils close, ready to unfurl within minutes. 7 is not just arithmetic, it is a seal of completion. When you act in faith at dawn, sweetness beneath your tongue and holy verses on your lips, heaven reads your intention as the stamp of perfection on the day. Unseen helpers move. Old curses crack. Those who wagered on your shame discover their own footing is ash. This is no superstition. The Psalms are not delicate poems, they are forged keys. Spoken with honey, they do not recite, they legislate. Your mouth becomes a courtroom, your words the verdict. In that act, doors swing, wealth returns, protection rises, paths open, favor remembers your name. What has been closed begins to yield, where lack dug trenches, abundance flows, where shame crouched, honor stands, where fear gnawed, boldness breathes. Understand the emblem, honey is a sign that bitterness has ended and prosperity has taken root. Lands described as flowing with milk and honey are lands where burdens snap and songs return. At dawn, the hour that chooses the flavor of everything that follows, you reverse the enemy's sowing. Instead of curses, you plant sweetness. Instead of blockages, you set gates ajar. Night wields salt to break and cleanse, morning wields honey to build and bless. One tears down altars, the other establishes tables. Add the wisdom of breath, as the honey settles, inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4, release for 4. Let the breath carry your verse like a bell note across the unseen. In Eastern teaching, the first light stirs chi, the vital breath, and the tongue is a switch that directs this current. With sweetness touching speech, your vibration rises, your words stop begging and start becoming. See as you speak. Feel the warmth at the center of your chest, the soft glow behind your sternum. Imagine it widening with each line you declare, as if your ribs were windows thrown open to the sun. Rise, then, not as a hurried body but as a crowned witness. Honey under your tongue. Psalms on your lips. Breath aligned with light. This dawn, heaven will answer, earth will obey, and within 7 minutes the script begins to turn in your favor. Honey is no ordinary sweetness. It is a mystery drawn from creation, not crafted by human hands, yet richer than anything industry could ever produce. In its golden essence is preserved the memory of flowers, the work of countless wings, and the silent intelligence of nature. Spiritually, honey becomes a mirror, it reflects abundance, it heralds the end of bitterness, it signals the dawn of restoration. When Scripture speaks of a land flowing with milk and honey, it is not a menu, it is a decree of prosperity, joy, and flourishing. By resting honey beneath your tongue at dawn, you prophetically declare that your life, your home, your ventures will flow with sweetness. You affirm that the sorrow of yesterday will not decide today. Why dawn? Because dawn is a gatekeeper. It is the invisible court where the day's destiny is decided. Declarations made in the first hour become roots that anchor what follows. The enemies of your soul know this, that is why curses are sown before the sun climbs. If they capture the dawn, they shape the noon. But when you rise with honey, you break their grip. You sow blessings where they tried to plant poison. You turn their designs into dust. Where bitterness would have sprouted, sweetness blossoms instead. Where chains would have tightened, gates open wide. There is also a divine rhythm, a contrast worth noting. Salt by night, honey by dawn. Salt tears down altars of darkness, breaking curses and silencing voices of witchcraft. But honey is the builder. Honey restores, heals, and establishes favor. One weapon fights, the other attracts. One cleanses the ground, the other fertilizes it. And in balancing both, salt at night and honey at dawn, you become like a tree unshaken by storm, both protected and prospering, both shielded and fruitful. The preparation itself is simple, yet sacred. Do not choose any honey polluted with mixture, purity is essential. Place a small portion in a clean spoon. Whisper over it, dedicate it to the source of life, and declare its new assignment, to be sweetness, abundance, favor, and restoration in your destiny. Bless the substance before it touches your tongue, for what is blessed carries weight in the unseen. Then, at the first light, let a portion rest beneath your tongue as you hold the psalms in hand. This is not routine, it is covenant. You are turning an earthly substance into a heavenly key. Consider the testimony hidden within honey. Bees do not rest until they gather nectar, often from flowers unnoticed by human eyes. In this, they carry a parable. When you use honey at dawn, you are calling hidden blessings out of obscurity. You are summoning provision from places overlooked, wealth from forgotten corners, favor from unexpected hands. Honey speaks of what is hidden becoming visible, what is overlooked becoming central, what is delayed becoming accelerated. This act harmonizes with wisdom found across traditions. In Taoist thought, sweetness balances the heart. In Ayurveda, honey carries prana, the subtle life force, into the body. The sweetness at dawn draws what is aligned with your destiny like a magnet. Just as bees are pulled irresistibly toward honey, so too do opportunities, allies, and wealth begin to gravitate toward you. It is not flavor, it is vibration. And in the unseen, vibration rules everything. Rise with honey under your tongue and psalms on your lips, and watch as the architecture of your day bends toward favor. The sweetness of honey is not only nourishment for the body, it is a signal in the spirit. Just as honey draws bees, so does the sweetness beneath your tongue attract opportunities, allies, and divine helpers into your life. What seems like coincidence is not chance, it is alignment. Favor begins to seek you out. Influential voices remember your name. Doors you once knocked on begin to open without effort. This is because honey acts as a magnet in the unseen, pulling toward you the vibration of abundance. But understand this truth clearly, honey itself is not the source. The power lies in timing, in faith, and in the declarations that activate it. When dawn opens its gate, when your tongue is sanctified by sweetness, and when your voice carries psalms into the morning air, then the covenant is sealed. This is why one drop of honey at dawn outweighs jars consumed without intention. It is not ritual alone, it is revelation. The dawn, the psalm, and the sweetness together form a trinity of transformation. Think of your tongue as the gate of destiny. What flows through it determines what takes root in your day. Honey seals the gate with blessing, making your words irresistible before heaven and unbearable to your enemies. Each psalm you declare becomes more than a prayer, it becomes a decree stamped with sweetness. Imagine every syllable carrying fragrance, rising like incense, rewriting atmospheres you cannot see. This is how curses dissolve before they find you. This is how the bitterness others planned for you turns back upon their own heads. Certain psalms hold particular resonance for this act. Psalms of abundance to summon wealth. Psalms of deliverance to silence the wicked. Psalms of favor to command doors to open. As the honey dissolves under your tongue, speak these words not as poetry but as law. Let them burn like fire carried on sweetness. Let your voice become the trumpet that drives away darkness and gathers light. In these moments, you are not just speaking, you are legislating. You are etching new patterns in the spirit, carving pathways where none existed before. Energy traditions echo this mystery. In Buddhist teachings, the morning mantra is most potent when spoken before the world stirs, when the mind is still like a clear pond. In Shaolin wisdom, the first breath of dawn is a chance to realign qi, to command the body and spirit toward harmony. When you combine this universal law with honey's symbolism of sweetness and the psalm's vibration of victory, you engage a force that transcends religion. It is the science of spirit. And what are the results? Situations once bitter begin to sweeten. Opportunities that were blocked start to flow. Circumstances that seemed immovable turn in your favor. Your enemies, who plotted in the shadows, are shamed in the light. They cannot withstand what has been sealed at the gate of dawn. You step into the day not as prey but as commander, not carrying fear but radiating authority. Remember, the honey is the seed, the psalm is the water, and dawn is the soil. When you unite them, you plant sweetness that must bear fruit. Rise with this awareness, and know that heaven bends to honor your faith. Testimonies rise from those who have practiced this dawn mystery. Men and women who felt forgotten suddenly received calls that shifted their lives. Contracts long delayed were signed. Debts once thought immovable dissolved in days. Opportunities hidden like seeds in the earth sprouted overnight. These are not accidents. They are the outworking of a spiritual law. When sweetness seals your tongue and psalms pour from your lips, the atmosphere must respond. Your words, in that holy hour, are not whispers, they are arrows of light. Every declaration travels like a spark carried on wind, igniting pathways in the unseen. What you decree becomes the architecture of your day. This is why enemies find themselves scattered, their weapons blunted before they can touch you. They expected you to wake passive, unaware. Instead, you rose as legislator, commander of your destiny. Honey itself carries a lesson. Bees labor endlessly to find nectar, often from flowers overlooked by human eyes. In the same way, your dawn practice draws blessings from unexpected places. It calls wealth from forgotten accounts, favor from unseen allies, help from strangers whose names you have not heard. What was hidden is revealed. What was locked is loosed. Honey teaches that even the small, unseen labors of life become stores of sweetness when gathered with purpose. The sweetness under your tongue is also fragrance in the spirit. Just as a flower's scent calls bees from afar, so does your declaration attract favor, helpers, and opportunities. In the unseen, sweetness is signal, like a beacon drawing what belongs to you. Where bitterness repelled, sweetness attracts. Where curses blocked, sweetness clears. Where shame lingered, sweetness clothes you with honor. Do not let anyone dismiss this as mere tradition. Honey has been revered across cultures as medicine, offering healing to wounds and strength to the weary. In ancient texts it stands as wealth, wisdom, and divine favor. The act itself is not magic, it is faith ignited by symbol. Honey under your tongue is a signpost, psalms upon your lips are the covenant, dawn itself is the court where verdicts are rendered. When you align all three, the decree is unstoppable. Think also of vibration. Words carry frequency. Honey amplifies the tone of your declarations, making them resonate like struck bells in the heavens. When you speak psalms with sweetness, your voice vibrates at a frequency enemies cannot withstand. They scatter, confused and powerless. Your day, once a battlefield, becomes a garden. Even science whispers of this mystery. Honey preserves because it resists decay, a natural force against corruption. Symbolically, it means your words, spoken at dawn, resist corruption too. They cannot spoil. They endure, carrying strength throughout the day. So do not treat honey as flavor. Treat it as a key. Do not treat psalms as poetry. Treat them as fire. Do not treat dawn as routine. Treat it as the gate of destiny. Align these, and you will see why testimonies multiply from those who rise early, seal their tongue with sweetness, and command their day with divine decree. When honey touches your tongue at dawn, it should not rest silently, it must be awakened with the word. The Psalms, written for moments of battle, of longing, of praise, are not only songs. They are weapons dressed in melody. As the sweetness melts beneath your tongue, let psalms flow aloud. Each verse you speak becomes a living flame wrapped in fragrance, irresistible before heaven and unbearable to forces of darkness. Your tongue becomes a river of decree. Where once bitterness defined your speech, now sweetness sanctifies it. Every syllable carries a vibration that rewrites atmospheres. Psalms of abundance summon wealth. Psalms of protection summon shields. Psalms of favor summon open gates. As honey dissolves, you are not reciting, you are legislating. You are placing signatures upon invisible scrolls that govern your day. Reflect also on this. In mystical traditions, the tongue is known as the gate of destiny. In Kabbalistic thought, letters formed upon the tongue shape reality. In Eastern wisdom, the spoken mantra at dawn reshapes the current of chi flowing through the body. In both, words are not empty, they are creative forces. By sealing your gate with honey, you ensure what flows outward carries blessing, not bitterness. Situations long sour begin to shift. Relationships scarred by misunderstanding soften. Opportunities long closed begin to stir. Obstacles crumble where your voice has touched. You do not fight with your hands, you legislate with your words. You are no longer pleading for mercy, you are decreeing with authority. The power lies not only in speaking but in seeing as you speak. Let your imagination paint the promises as real. See debts dissolving. See doors opening. See enemies scattering. Speak these visions through the Psalms, and your words will carve them into reality. What is declared with faith at dawn becomes law in the unseen. And notice this mystery, while your enemies expect curses to direct your day, you are writing a sweeter script. They wake early to sow confusion, but you rise earlier still to plant favor. Their voices dissolve where your declarations rise. The sweetness upon your tongue turns their bitterness back upon themselves. The very arrows aimed at you bend in midair and return to sender. This is why dawn must never be wasted. If your lips remain silent, weeds of bitterness grow unchecked. But when you sow psalms with honey, you water the soil of your destiny with sweetness. Each word becomes like sunlight on the seed of your future, urging it to sprout with favor. Remember this, life is spiritual first, physical second. If you neglect dawn, you forfeit your authority. But when you sanctify dawn, you legislate your day. And once sealed at the gate of morning, no force of darkness can undo it. Rise early, hold honey beneath your tongue, and declare with courage. In that moment, you are not victim, you are commander. There is a mystery in numbers, and 7 is the crown among them. 7 minutes at dawn, with honey beneath your tongue and psalms upon your lips, form a prophetic cycle of completion. Within that span, unseen battles shift, chains begin to break, and your life aligns with favor. Do not rush. Do not treat it casually. Sit in the sweetness. Speak with conviction. Let silence between verses be filled with faith. Allow those 7 minutes to sculpt the atmosphere around you. As honey dissolves, so too dissolve the schemes of your enemies. Just as sweetness melts into your blood, so their curses melt into nothingness. Their words, sharp in the night, lose their edge at the first light of dawn. Confusion overtakes them, shame returns upon their heads, and plots crafted in darkness collapse before midday. Meanwhile, heaven assigns angels to your cause, dispatching provision, releasing opportunities, and commanding wealth to flow toward you. Wealth restoration is not only about money. It is about recovering time, honor, relationships, and destiny itself. In these minutes, debts are cancelled, forgotten names are remembered, hidden resources are uncovered. The sweetness on your tongue becomes a fragrance in the spirit that draws all that was withheld back into your orbit. You begin to see signs, unexpected favor, sudden calls, doors you thought sealed swinging wide. These are not coincidences, they are manifestations of obedience. Protection also rises in those 7 minutes. Invisible walls of fire encircle you and your household. Arrows launched in the night are intercepted. Monitoring spirits lose sight of you. Evil eyes searching for your downfall are blinded. The sweetness you declared becomes a shield, turning their gaze away. Where curses were meant to follow you, blessing trails behind you instead. Divine favor is stirred as well. Like a magnet, the sweetness pulls opportunities into your path. Suddenly, your name is spoken in rooms of influence. Applications overlooked before are chosen. Voices of authority remember you. What was once rejection transforms into acceptance. You walk into the day carrying a fragrance no one can deny. Visualization during this time amplifies the power. As the honey melts, see bitterness leaving your life like smoke carried by the wind. See debts dissolving into testimonies. See enemies scattering in disarray. See new doors opening like petals to the sun. Speak what you see through the Psalms, for spoken vision becomes creation. Do not despise the simplicity of this act. Many overlook it because it appears too small. But the universe responds not to complexity, but to faith. 7 minutes, sweetness beneath your tongue, words forged in scripture, this is enough to rewrite your day and alter the course of your destiny. Practice this for 7 consecutive mornings, and you will notice patterns forming. Sweetness overtakes bitterness. Favor becomes normal. Enemies fall into shame without you lifting a hand. Your life shifts from surviving to thriving. 7 minutes become a seed for a lifetime of transformation. Every dawn carries within it the invitation to awaken, not just from sleep, but into authority. Many stumble into the day as victims, letting circumstances dictate their emotions, their choices, even their destiny. But when you rise with honey beneath your tongue and psalms upon your lips, you reclaim the script of your life. You stop waiting for fate to decide, and you begin shaping reality with intention. Spiritual awakening begins at the very moment you grasp that dawn is not neutral, it is the stage where you either command or surrender. Reflect on your mornings past. How often have you rushed into the day silent, burdened, unguarded? Each wasted dawn is an opportunity handed over to forces eager to shape your path in bitterness. Yet each captured dawn is a throne moment, a chance to plant sweetness and decree favor. Life, at its core, is spiritual. The garden of your destiny is always seated at dawn. Plant nothing, and weeds take root by default. Plant sweetness, and fragrance spreads across your hours. The honey under your tongue is more than symbol, it is seed. The psalms on your lips are more than verses, they are water. And dawn itself is more than time, it is soil. Seed, water, and soil together cannot fail to yield. If you are consistent, your life must bloom. Honey ensures the harvest will be sweet, psalms ensure it will be abundant, dawn ensures it will endure. Faith is not about appearances, it is about daring to speak when evidence is absent. You may see debt, but declare wealth. You may feel weak, but decree strength. You may sense enemies circling, but proclaim protection. As honey sweetens your tongue, faith sweetens your words. And what you speak begins to shape the very framework of your reality. This practice is also intimacy. As honey rests, take a sacred pause. Ask yourself, where do I still taste bitterness? Which areas of my life hunger for sweetness? What dreams have I abandoned because of delay? Then let the Psalms carry your answers into transformation. Speak over your finances, your relationships, your purpose, and see them transfigured before the eyes of your spirit. Remember, every dawn is proof of mercy, proof that yesterday's shadows did not conquer you. It is the Creator's daily reminder that you may begin again. To rise with honey is to accept that invitation. To recite psalms is to sign your name upon it. With each dawn, you do not repeat yesterday, you declare today new, protected, and filled with favor. Wisdom traditions affirm this renewal. In Zen teaching, each morning breath is called the beginner's mind, a chance to see the world unshaped by the past. In Vedic practice, the early hours are Brahma Muhurta, when the cosmos is most responsive. In your practice, honey becomes the key to this responsiveness, psalms the language to translate it, dawn the door through which it manifests. Do not waste it. Rise not as a wanderer but as a commander. Honey beneath your tongue. Psalms upon your lips. Dawn beneath your feet. With this, you no longer drift into the day, you ascend into it. Journaling during this practice magnifies its power. Write down what you declared at dawn, what visions rose in your spirit, and what events followed. Over time, you will see a pattern emerge, proof that your words are not echoes into silence but seeds that return as fruit. Testimonies recorded become anchors for your faith, reminders that each declaration carried weight in the unseen. When discouragement whispers, your journal answers back with evidence that dawn decrees reshape reality. This practice builds resilience. Every morning becomes a fresh start, no matter what storms raged yesterday. Each sunrise whispers, the night did not win. Every new dawn announces that defeat is not final, that destiny still breathes. When you rise and seal the day with sweetness and psalms, you are declaring, today will not be like yesterday. Today I command a new script. Such a mindset infuses strength, courage, and confidence that no enemy can fracture. Remember also the law of consistency. A single dawn may shift the atmosphere, but 7 dawns forge a covenant. Momentum builds with repetition, like waves carving stone. Enemies who seemed immovable break under the persistence of your decrees. Favor that flickered like a candle becomes a steady flame. Breakthroughs once delayed surge forth. Consistency is the hammer that breaks stubborn curses and the rain that nurtures enduring blessing. As you practice, let silence be a teacher too. After declaring the psalms, remain still for a few breaths. Feel the honey dissolving, feel the sweetness spreading through your spirit, and listen. Often the divine answers not with thunder but with whispers, nudges toward decisions, clarity about paths, peace about choices. Journaling these impressions sharpens your inner ear, training you to recognize the subtle movements of spirit. Science itself bears witness to this. Neuroscience tells us that morning rituals rewire the brain, forming neural pathways of resilience and gratitude. Energy medicine teaches that intention carried on breath alters the vibration of cells. The mystical and the practical converge, your dawn ritual reshapes both spirit and body. Let your declarations grow bold. Say aloud, today my wealth is restored. Today my favor is activated. Today my enemies are scattered. Do not mutter, command. For the tongue holds life and death, and honey seals life into your words. Psalms, when spoken with conviction, become arrows tipped with fire. They fly into realms unseen, piercing barriers, dismantling curses, and planting blessings in their place. Your dawn should not pass empty. Each morning unused is territory ceded. Each dawn seized is ground won. Rise with honey, rise with psalms, rise with vision, and know, your life bends toward victory. The earth obeys, heaven responds, and enemies cannot withstand what has been sealed in sweetness. Now activate your declarations with fire. Do not sit silent while sweetness rests beneath your tongue. Open your mouth and speak as one vested with authority. Proclaim boldly, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every curse is shattered. Every altar raised against me is broken. Every monitoring spirit is blinded. Your words are not wishes, they are verdicts. With honey sealing your tongue, your declarations become irresistible before heaven and unbearable to your enemies. Turn your decree toward wealth. Speak with authority, every financial barrier is removed. Every door of provision swings open. Every hidden resource is released in my favor. Contracts return. Opportunities flow. Money arrives from expected and unexpected places. As the psalms leave your lips, let them carve channels for provision to reach you. Faith speaks, and heaven responds with substance. Then shift to protection. Declare, I am covered by divine fire. My household is shielded. No sickness, no accident, no sudden tragedy shall overtake me. Extend this covering over your children, your spouse, your work, your business, your home. Say it with strength, every arrow launched in the night is broken. Every snare set for me will trap my enemies instead. Honey ensures your words draw sweetness for you and bitterness for those who oppose you. Do not neglect favor. Command it, today I am remembered. Today I am chosen. Today I am honored. Speak it as truth. Decree that your name shall rise in rooms of influence, that destiny helpers will find you, that rejection becomes acceptance. The sweetness of honey becomes fragrance in the spirit, causing doors to recognize your knock and hearts to welcome your presence. Release shame upon your enemies. Say, every tongue raised against me is condemned. Every plot collapses. Every hidden agenda scatters. Let those who intended my downfall stumble in their own nets. Your decrees, sealed by honey, carry sweetness for you but judgment for them. The same act that attracts blessing repels evil, turning every scheme into dust. Finally, seal the morning with victory. Declare, my dawn is blessed. My day is secured. My life unstoppable. Wealth, protection, and favor are my portion. Within 7 minutes, miracles manifest in my life. Believe it is finished as you speak. The sweetness in your mouth becomes tangible evidence of sweetness released into your reality. Heaven enforces every word you legislate. Do not keep this secret. This act is not for one morning, it is a covenant for 7. Each day builds momentum, layering decree upon decree until curses collapse under the weight of consistency. Test this yourself, rise for 7 dawns, seal each with honey and psalms, and watch as testimonies overflow. Write them down, for memory fades but testimony endures. Your life will become living proof that dawn, once seized, cannot be stolen again. Now you see the mystery, dawn is not just the turning of night into day, it is the opening of destiny's gate. Honey is not just food, it is a prophetic weapon. Psalms are not mere poetry, they are decrees that legislate heaven's favor on earth. And your tongue is not flesh alone, it is the throne from which your destiny is governed. When these forces meet at sunrise, your life cannot remain ordinary. Do not underestimate the simplicity. Faith is not found in complicated rituals but in obedience. Honey beneath your tongue, psalms upon your lips, and 7 minutes of focused decree, this is enough to rewrite the script of your day. The enemy will mock the simplicity, whispering it is too small. Yet every great key looks small until it unlocks the door. What matters is consistency. Repeat it, not once, not twice, but for 7 dawns, and then make it a rhythm of life. Each sunrise becomes your covenant renewal, your throne moment, your declaration of victory. Share your testimonies, for silence hides miracles but spoken stories multiply them. What heaven performs for you will ignite faith in others. Your breakthrough may be the seed of another's deliverance. Spread this truth, for many wander in bitterness who need sweetness, many drown in poverty who need restoration, many are stalked by enemies who need protection. By sharing, you become not only a receiver but a vessel of blessing. Never forget, life is spiritual first, physical second. Nothing shifts in the seen until it is declared in the unseen. The dawn is the court, the honey is the seal, the psalms are the decree. Use them wisely, and defeat will never have the final word in your life. So I bless you now, may your dawns overflow with sweetness. May your enemies be scattered and ashamed. May your wealth return in fullness. May divine favor follow you like a fragrance. May your household be wrapped in protection. May every new sunrise remind you that heaven fights for you, angels walk beside you, and victory is your portion. This is your dawn. This is your covenant. And within 7 minutes of faith, obedience, and declaration, miracles cannot be delayed. Rise early, seal your tongue with honey, proclaim psalms with boldness, and watch as heaven writes your day in sweetness. From now on, you will never walk in defeat again.